Why I choose you as my future wife. Because in a world where countless faces pass me by adorned in beauty, wrapped in charm, crowned with ambition, none of them ever reached the marrow of my soul the way you did. You are not simply someone I admire. You are the silence between my storms, the calm that tames the chaos of my restless heart. I chose you because when I look at you, I no longer see the world as it is, I see the world as it could be placed gentler, brighter, softer. You did not just capture my eyes, you captured my very being. Where others touched the surface, you touched the roots. Where others brought fleeting sparks, you became the eternal flame. I chose you because of the way you understand what I do not say. Because your eyes read the unspoken chapters of my story, the ones too heavy to translate into words. You see the man beneath the prince, the human beneath the polished exterior. And instead of running away from my shadows, you dare to walk inside them, unafraid of the darkness, unafraid of the scars, unafraid of the crown's weight. I chose you because you did not fall in love with the illusion of who I was supposed to be. You fell in love with the man I am, fragile, flawed, but fiercely, irrevocably yours. I chose you because you love in a way that is rare in this world, without conditions, without bargains, without measuring gain or loss. In your love, there is no calculation, only surrender. You do not love me because I am a prince, or because my name carries weight in marble halls. You love me, as though I were just a man who stumbled into your orbit. And that, my beloved, is the purest gift of all. You have shown me what it means to be seen, truly seen, without the armor, without the titles, without the fear of breaking. I chose you because you make me want to be more, not for the world, not for the kingdom, but for you. You awaken in me a hunger not for power, but for gentleness, not for conquest, but for tenderness. You remind me that strength is not in dominance, but in devotion, not in ruling, but in protecting, not in commanding, but in cherishing. You are the reason I have learned to kneel, not in front of a throne, but in front of love itself. And most of all, I chose you because with you, forever doesn't sound frightening. It sounds like home. It sounds like morning coffee, and whispered prayers, like laughter echoing in empty rooms, like hands that never let go, no matter how cruel the storm outside may be. With you, I no longer fear tomorrow, because tomorrow is simply another day, to love you more than I did today. Because in every life, a man must make choices that define him, choices that shape the story he leaves behind. And among all the decisions I have made, none has been more deliberate, more sacred, more unshakable than the choice of you. You see, I have lived in a world where people wear masks so well that truth feels like a forgotten language. I have been surrounded by voices that speak only what pleases me, eyes that look at me, but never see me, hearts that claim to care but only calculate gain. And then there was you. You did not arrive with a crown. You did not bring wealth. You did not come bearing any grand promise. You came with sincerity, and that alone was rarer than gold. It disarmed me. It humbled me. It rebuilt me. That is why I chose you. I chose you because you never asked me to prove my worth. You never demanded that I be more than I am, and yet, your presence alone makes me strive for greatness. Not the greatness carved in statues or celebrated in history books, but the greatness of being a man who can love with honesty, who can protect with loyalty, who can cherish with unwavering devotion. You inspire me to live differently, not for the applause of a kingdom, but for the quiet smile you give me when the world is watching. You are the reminder that beneath the crown, beneath the duty, beneath the endless expectations, there is a man who is worthy of being loved. I chose you because when I imagine my life without you, it feels like a story cut in half, a song unfinished, a dream abandoned. Before you, I had everything yet nothing. My life was filled with noise, but empty of meaning. But with you, even silence speaks volumes. A simple touch of your hand can say more than 1,000 voices. A glance from you can anchor me when the world threatens to pull me apart. You are not an addition to my life, you are the very center of it, the compass by which I navigate, the pulse that keeps me alive. And I chose you because you are not afraid of the man I could become. You look at me not as I am bound by the weight of titles, but as I am when the armor falls away. You see my flaws, my weaknesses, my fears, and instead of recoiling, you cradle them as though they too deserve love. You are not blinded by the shine of my name, instead, you hold me accountable. You remind me of who I am when the lights fade and the halls grow quiet. To be loved by you is not to be. And perhaps the truest reason why I chose you is because when I think of the word forever, it no longer feels heavy, nor distant, nor uncertain. With anyone else, forever would have been a burden, a weight too cruel to carry. But with you, forever feels like breathing. It feels natural, effortless, inevitable. I can see you in every season of my life. In the spring of beginnings, in the summer of joy, in the autumn of trials, and in the winter of old age. I can see your hand in mine when the world cheers, and when the world turns its back. I can see your face in the morning light, in the shadows of evening, in the stars above when silence falls. I chose you, my love, because my soul recognized yours, and once it did, there was no turning back. Because in the endless corridors of my life, filled with echoes of duty, and the relentless weight of expectations, you were the only doorway that led me back to myself. I have lived among opulence, been surrounded by walls carved with power and voices sharpened with ambition, but none of it ever felt like home. Everything I knew was fleeting, every smile rehearsed, every word measured. I was celebrated but never truly seen, admired, but never deeply known. Then you came not like a storm demanding attention, but like dawn breaking silently, gently, yet with such unshakable force that it changed everything. You made me realize that love is not about possession, it is about recognition. It is about finding in another person a reflection of the truth we long buried in ourselves. You are that truth for me. You are the answer I did not even know I was asking the universe for. That is why I chose you. I chose you because when I looked into your eyes, I saw a future I had never dared to imagine. For years, my life was painted in monotones of responsibility and endless performance. A life where joy was rationed, laughter was a luxury, and vulnerability was forbidden. But with you I saw colors. I saw a life not measured by crowns, wealth, or applause, but by the rhythm of our shared heartbeats, by the tenderness of ordinary moments made sacred simply because they were ours. I saw us walking through life's storms, not unscathed but unbroken, because together even scars could become symbols of strength. I saw children with your smile and my eyes, laughter echoing in halls that had long been too silent, and love lingering in every corner of a world we would build from the ground up. I chose you, not just for who you are now, but for the life that becomes possible only with you in it. I chose you because you are the first person who ever looked at me and saw beyond the armor I wear. You did not fall in love with the prince, the crown, or the name etched in history. You fell in love with the man behind all of it, the man who fears, who falters, who aches. And you stayed. You stayed even when my silence was heavy, when my burdens were crushing, when my shadows threatened to swallow me whole. You never demanded perfection, only presence. You never asked me to be more than I am, and yet, simply because of you, I want to be more and more patient, more compassionate, more worthy of the love you give so freely. In a world where everything is conditional, where affection is earned and loyalty is bartered, your love remains the only constant that asks for nothing but gives me everything. That kind of love is rare. That kind of love is why I chose you. I chose you because you make forever feel real. Before you, forever was an illusion, a poetic word used in vows and forgotten in practice. But when I imagine forever with you, it feels tangible, attainable, alive. I can see the years stretched before us, not as a burden, but as a blessing. I can see us in the quiet mornings, when the world is still, and it's just you and me sharing coffee, laughter, and dreams. I can see us in the storms, holding on to each other as though the world could collapse, but we would still remain. I can see us in the twilight of our lives, sitting hand in hand, with faces marked by time, but hearts untouched by it, still beating as one. With you forever is not something to fear, it is something to long for, something I crave with every breath. And so I chose you, Because every path that does not lead to you feels empty, meaningless, incomplete. I chose you because I have never believed in fate, yet you make me question everything I thought I knew. Perhaps fate does not exist for everyone, but for a rare few, the universe bends its rules. Maybe we were not simply meant to meet, we were meant to recognize. I believe my soul knew yours long before my eyes did, long before my heart even understood what it was searching for. That is why being with you does not feel like falling, it feels like returning. Returning to a place I had been searching for all my life, a place where my heart rests, where my soul breathes, where my existence finally makes sense. You are the place. You are the home. You are the choice I will make again. Do you know what it feels like to walk through corridors filled with people, yet feel utterly invisible? To dine on golden tables, surrounded by ministers, but taste only emptiness with every bite. That has been my life. And then you entered it. With your laughter, your stubbornness, your courage. You didn't just walk into my palace, you broke into my silence. You did treat me like a porcelain figure carved in history books. You treated me like a man who could bleed, who could laugh, who could love. And that me love is the reason I choose you. Because when I look at you, I don't see a queen in the making. I see the only woman who could ever make me believe that love is more powerful than duty. I choose you because you are not afraid of me. That might sound simple, but it isn't. Everyone bows their head when I enter, everyone lowers their eyes. They fear disappointing me, they fear my power, they fear what my silence might mean. But you look at me as though you see right through my armor. You dare to question me, to challenge me, to make me laugh when I want to brood. You have never allowed me to drown in my own shadows. And though I carry the burden of a kingdom, you remind me that even kings deserve to be loved like men. That is why you are my choice, because only you have ever looked at me and seen more than a prince. You saw me when no one else did. I choose you because I want my children to know the warmth of your embrace, the honesty in your eyes, the fire in your spirit. I want my future to be built not on traditions written by my ancestors, but on the love we carve with our own hands. My palace is filled with gold, with marble, with treasures beyond measure, but none of them shine as brightly as you do when you smile at me. The world may see my crown as my legacy, but in truth, you are the legacy I want to leave behind.